Thank you, and good afternoon. As Supervisor Cox just mentioned, we have a big weekend in front of us. Not only is it the traditional beginning of summer, but it is the first weekend with dine-in restaurants and in-store shopping open and accessible to San Diegans. Each and every San Diegan has given a tremendous amount throughout the duration of coronavirus pandemic. Your sacrifice and your commitment has paid incredible dividends, as our region has done exceptionally well. This same sacrifice and commitment is what is allowing us to continue to progress through the reopening, and your ongoing commitment and your ongoing sacrifice is what will allow us to see that through in a smooth way. The actions that we've taken so far, actions around physical distancing, staying at home, hand washing, face coverings, temperature checks, these are the actions that are contributing to our success. But as we continue to go into this new phase, we have to be smart. We have to be responsible, and in certain instances, we have to hold one another accountable. We cannot afford to blow all of the progress we've made to date, especially as we head into a holiday weekend where it is harder and harder to try and stay out of situations that could facilitate outbreaks and spread of coronavirus. And as we see the implementation of the opening of dine-in restaurants, the implementation of the opening of in-store retail, we know the overwhelming majority of our businesses out there are doing everything that they've been asked to do, and we greatly appreciate them. But we also cannot be in a position where a few bad actors ruin the progress for an entire region. In the first hours, just within a few hours after us making the announcement yesterday afternoon about our region taking a tremendously positive step forward, we saw very troubling and very concerning instances of blatant disregard for the public health orders and blatant noncompliance. One of the most egregious of these examples was the El Prez restaurant located in the Pacific Beach area. And I'm going to play for you a short video of what transpired there just a few hours after we announced the changes in our public health order.
How do you feel about like beach bars or beach bars only? How do you feel about that?
What you can see before you is almost a place that took a list of everything we asked folks not to do and did them right away. And the simple reality is we have a responsibility to hold one another accountable for the challenges we face, and we never want to be heavy-handed when it comes to enforcing our public health orders, because we believe and we know the overwhelming majority of you have the best of intentions and understand the gravity and challenges of the situation we face. We, in almost every instance, prefer to work collaboratively. We prefer education. We prefer incentives. But heading into the weekend and seeing this in the first hours of our stay-at-home order being modified to allow in-person dining, we simply cannot tolerate such blatant and intentional violations of the public health order. Our public health order requires retailers, restaurants, and other businesses that are allowed to be open in stage 2 to ensure all required measures are implemented. It is also clear that any business that fails to comply with the county's safe reopening plans or the COVID-19 restaurant opening protocols may be required to close. After seeing what transpired at the El Prez restaurant in Pacific Beach, failure to follow the rules, today they were served with an order of the public health officer closing them effective immediately. This facility is now closed. This facility will remain closed until further notice. They will have the option to meet with public health officials to share their revised plans, to share how in the future they will ensure compliance with the public health orders and to make sure these types of situations do not happen again. And at some point in the future, this order by our public health officer, Dr. Wilma Wooten, can be rescinded. But they simply didn't do the basic things that we're asking folks to do. It created an imminent health and safety risk. The actions that you just saw in the video before you can trigger an outbreak and compromise our ability as a county to move further along in the state's reopening plan. Again, I want to reiterate that we know the overwhelming majority of our business owners and our restaurants out there are doing everything the right way, are very conscientious, they're very committed, and we appreciate each and every one of them. We also want to ensure a situation where the public has confidence that if they go into these settings that they will be safe, and we simply cannot let one bad actor ruin it for everyone. And as we head into this weekend, let us all be reminded that the dangers of coronavirus remain, that we have to be mindful of our actions, and we have to continue to demonstrate that we can work our way through stage 2 with the same commitment and the same excellent track record of success that we have done to date. And we urge the public to please be mindful of the dangers and have a real commitment to our actions to allow our recovery to continue. Our public health order, section 12, is being updated to reflect everything that has been shared in the recent days around restaurants. The order is now on our website at coronavirus-sd.com. We also want to provide 2 additional clarifications. Additionally, we've covered these in the preceding days. One is that hotels are to remain closed unless they are serving essential workers or they are aiding in the COVID response. Outside of that, staycations, reconnecting with families, Airbnb, all of these entities are not presently open and should not be operating. I also want to reinforce the beach rules. We've been doing an incredible job with our beaches. Folks have been following the orders, and we are working with coastal mayors on modifications to the current posture for our beaches. But for Memorial Day weekend, all of the current guidance remain in effect. You must wear a face covering and remain 6 feet away from anyone who's not in your household. You can walk or run on the beach, but at this point we cannot sit or lie down. If your beach allows dogs, then you can take your dog if your local jurisdiction allows it, and you can get in the water, swim, surf, paddleboard, kayak, snorkel, recreational boating in ocean, bays, and lakes, but only with members of your own household, and the beach parking lots remain closed. Again, each city and each jurisdiction has the ultimate authority over their specific beach, but those are the countywide metrics. Before I get to our daily charts, I want to just reiterate what Supervisor Cox mentioned is the importance of Memorial Day. As a combat veteran of the United States Marine Corps, the day has particular meaning and particular sadness for those of us who came back when our friends didn't. And as we head into the weekend, we are reminded of that notion of sacrifice, that notion of people willing to make the ultimate sacrifice in giving their own life for one another, for someone else, and for this country. And it's not lost on me the irony that a country founded on sacrificing life in order to preserve liberty is now facing a situation where we're asking the public to sacrifice liberty in an attempt to preserve life. But when we think about the tremendous sacrifices that were made around Memorial Day and what we think about simply asking us to wear a face covering, to limit our gatherings, it doesn't seem quite so intense, and it doesn't seem like such a burden. And so as we head into this Memorial Day weekend, let's make sure that we honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and never lose sight of what the true meaning of sacrifice means. We will jump into our update charts here. The first one I want to share is around Operation Shelter to Home. We have been repeatedly updating the public on the testing metrics at the convention center. Moving forward, these will be updated every single day by 10 a.m. At the City of San Diego's website. The city is primarily running the convention center. The county is playing a very supportive role along with the Housing Commission or Regional Task Force on Homelessness. It is a collaborative effort, but the daily totals on testing will be updated on that website every day at 10 a.m. And we'll be doing so moving forward. Let's jump into our T3 strategy. Over 4,000 tests again today. Our daily rolling average is up over 4,000, 4,066. We obviously are working to continue to step this up to get over the 5,000 number. You can see pushing 125,000 total tests. Increase in our contact tracers. That number is going to continue to jump in the coming weeks. And you see our treatment numbers around our public health motel rooms. When it comes to our number of cases today, we're reporting 119 new positive cases out of the 4,056 tests. This is a 3% percentage of positive, slightly under our rolling 14-day average of 3.4%, and continues to head in the right direction. Our daily hospital census, ICUs and hospitalizations COVID-related are just down slightly from yesterday to today. Again, it's not the day-to-day totals, it's the trends over time. And when you take the total COVID hospitalizations along with all hospitalizations, which you will see on the next chart here, you will see right there we're at 3,852, which puts us well below the current available bed capacity. Last chart for you today is our ICU situation. There you can see our COVID-related ICU census. The other ICU patients puts us at 428. The green bar there is current ICU bed capacity. The blue line is the licensed capacity for our region. And you can see right now we're sitting at about 66% occupancy out of our current ICU bed capacity. That completes my section of the report. Next, I'm going to turn it over to speak about enforcement and the posture and the importance of compliance throughout the weekend. I'm going to welcome our Under Sheriff Mike Barnett.